The government made the decision some 18 months ago now, maybe more. And one of the things that it's left is a kind of a vacuum. Teachers and schools are looking at this and thinking, what do I do exactly? Some schools are already starting to tackle that and come up with some really inventive and creative ideas. Some schools are not. Even if they're not, there's still time, I would say, to get this in order. But time is running out a little bit. I guess from September, I think schools really need to be engaging with life after levels. The key advice for schools now in terms of assessment without levels is to make sure that they really are engaged. Levels have gone, there's no two ways about it. We know that years 2 and years 6 are still working their way through the system. But I think schools now really should be in a place where they're starting to at least think about next September and ideally have things fairly well planned by then. A number of things. One is to look at the NAHT Commission's report. There's some important clues in there about assessment principles and a design framework for schools to use. And schools really do need to identify the principles first and foremost. That would be my key advice for schools, for their staff to sit back for a moment or two and reflect on assessment in their schools. What does it mean for them? What does it mean for their pupils? How do they use assessment? What do they want to get out of assessment? And most importantly, how does it impact on teaching and learning? It's a response, a model, if you like, that we've put together to help schools to deal with assessment now that levels have gone from the system. If people look on the NHT website, they can look at the model in detail. The key performance indicators have been provided, have indeed performance descriptions that actually describe what we think a child should look like at the end of a year. It's a good way for professionals to look at that detail, the curriculum in detail, and to come up with their views. Is this the right stuff? Is this the stuff we want our children to really know and understand? And then the structure that sits around that from FROG helps schools to put that together into one place, which I think is really important for schools. The seminar will provide some important clues as to what schools might do, could do. It'll share what other people are doing in response and look at things like what Ofsted and other key players in the system are expecting. People who do attend the meeting will get access to the curriculum manager. They'll be able to go back to the schools and look at that. And I think that's the real way to test it, to judge it. Is this the kind of thing for me?